So what's the easiest, quickest and safest way to become financially free? This is what I'm going to show you in this video. I'm Dreyer. I'm the founder of the Wealth Creators Method, where we help entrepreneurs and investors to create, to grow and to protect their wealth. And by far the easiest and the quickest and the safest way that I know that you can create, grow and protect your wealth is by following this simple process that I'm going to share with you right now. First of all, we have to define what is financial freedom. What does it mean? To every person is going to mean different things. For example, to myself, it means to be able to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, where I want to do it, with whom I want to do it, without worrying about money. And by following this that I'm going to share with you, I only discovered this at the age of 30. We were financially free at the age of 37. Nowadays, my students, literally from the moment that they get it, and you don't get it until you get it, but from the moment that they get it, some of them literally within a year achieve what most people will not achieve in a lifetime. But there's a process, and it's this process that I'm going to share with you. So we start off by knowing, what does this mean to you? In other words, what is freedom? But then that's too vague. We need to get more clarity on that. So we condense that then and say, but what is your freedom number? Your freedom number simply means the assets under your management, the income that you will have from that. What will that income be? And that's one of the reasons why I've used property when I calculated my freedom number. So from your freedom number, you have to come back and you'll see how all of this ties up as soon as you get it. Right. It all ties up with, but what do you have available right now? In other words, the surplus or your investment money. Maybe you've got a retirement annuity or a unit trust or a mutual fund, or wherever you may be, a 401k in America or superannuation in Australia. If you start adding up all the funds that you use that should be allocated towards your financial freedom, what is that amount that you've got available? Now, if you go from there to that freedom, what growth must you get with the current available money that you've got? What is that growth? Now, here's something I will show you at the end of this little video, where and how you can get all of this information for free, and I'll even teach you how to do this. But there is a small snack. First of all, you have to get through this video. So once we've got that, now for the first time, can we set a goal? We call it a power goal. Now, a power goal is one of those goals that is so big and audacious that you know within your heart that that is what you want, but you're too afraid to start with this goal or the process. And most people, unfortunately, have got no idea what the process is, this that I'm busy explaining to you, that they should follow in order to make it easy for them in order to achieve that goal. Okay, so it starts by goal. So how do I know if I'm successful? Well, it's if I can achieve that goal within that period of time. But I hope that you can see, not only is that one of the goals, but another goal is on a weekly and a daily and a monthly basis. I can measure then the growth. If I'm on track, in other words, if I'm successful. So what is success? Success is a progressive realization of a worthy goal. That is the definition of success, according to Earl Nightingale. But now, what is the quickest way that I can achieve this? The quickest way is to get the right information in the right order for the level of the game that I'm at, and then to apply it in order to see what the results are. The result, as you can see, that is, if it's higher than my financial freedom growth rate, I know that I'm successful in the journey. If I'm not ahead of schedule, or I'm not exceeding that, it simply means there's a lack of skills. I need more skills. Because risk is when you do not know what you're doing. So if I'm not going to get to my goal, or I'm behind in terms of the projection, it means I do not know what I'm doing, right? Therefore, I have to up my financial skills. It's as simple as that. So now we can see that why do I want to see the results? Because I can measure it, and unless I can measure it, I cannot manage it. So to become successful, you have to manage the process in order to become successful. I know that you've got it. Now, let's take this one step back even further. What is the safest way and the easiest way in order to become successful? And this is where the golden triangle comes in. Now, the golden triangle simply means this, that find yourself a mentor that has achieved that you want to achieve in the different areas of life. Maybe it's got to do with your health, maybe with your wealth, maybe with retirement, maybe, I don't know, maybe in your business or maybe in relationship. Find someone that has already achieved that, but there's a very specific way to select that person. And the way to do it is not, they must have achieved it without selling any product or services. Because there's a lot of fake gurus nowadays that learn a lot, like at university, then they become a professor and everyone thinks that they know how to do it, but they don't know how to do it because they can't do it in real life. So find someone that in real life has showed that, not by teaching and not by selling courses and but actually have done it and can prove that they've done it. But then there's a second part that is crucial. The second part is that person must have used a system. The reason for that is you want to learn the skill. So what's the easiest way to learn a skill? Is from someone that has already done it through a system, because the moment that you've got a system that is structured, you can learn that skill in a very, very short time. So what you want to do is to tap into the experience, the knowledge, plus the skills that this person has, in other words, in a system, in order to learn the skill. So the function of the mentor should only be one thing, and that is to take you through the different levels, because he or she has gone through that previously and they can prove that they've done it. I hope that you get it. So find a mentor that has achieved that you want to achieve, that has got a system that they proved that worked and that they've used in order to become successful in that specific area that you want to excel. And the way to do that is to gain the skills from that system. In other words, the function should be for you to learn the skills, because that is the function of a goal, is for you, because the moment that you are in a position that you have got the skills, you'll be able to get exactly the same result that your mentors are getting. Exactly the same, or even a lot better than that. So that by far is the easiest way to follow this process. But now, what is the safest way? When it comes to money, there's a lot of money that people waste. So the trick is, again, risk is when you do not know what you're doing. So if you do not have the skills, people try to use money in order to help them, because they believe this thing that you must have money to make money. Therefore, they're going to go to the bank, and therefore they're going to say, okay, you get good debt and bad debt. And I'm telling you that all debt is actually bad, right? Especially if you do not know what you're doing. So they think there's a way to excel, but what they don't know is that it depends on their skills. So the bank can give you $1 million rands or dollars or pounds simply because you've got the security, but that does not secure your success. And this is important that we understand this and that we get this. Okay, so that is the reason why the safest way is to start small. Use that money in order to learn the skills, or base your skills to grow that money or to create that money. So with the Rainmaker Startup business, as an example, one of the skills that you need to have as a wealth creator, you literally learn through this method how to start a business or an income stream with absolutely no money, no security, no bank, no partners, none of that. Once you've got that skill, now at the level 2, you can accelerate this income or the business or the investments growth rate. It is as simple as that. So you are looking for the skills. That is what you look for. And you can accelerate this process by getting someone that has the skills but has got a system where he or she has incorporated the skills so that they can teach you these skills in a practical way. Now, here's the beauty about skills. No one is born with any skills. All skills are teachable and therefore trainable. In other words, if I want to learn that skill and I can get a mentor that has done it and I follow and duplicate this process through the system, I must get exactly the same results than my mentor. There should not be any difference. And that is the way to accelerate the process. Now, when I started teaching 20 years ago, right, I've retired at 37. So at 42, 43, Tanya, my wife, said to me, why don't you go and teach people this that you've done, and specifically the Property Pro investment system, because that was a system that we've used that accelerate this whole process. And at 37, we retired. So when I started teaching people about property, I very quickly saw that they're missing the boat. They don't understand that it is the skill. They think they need money, or they need the bank, or they need someone else in order to help them to get more and more properties or get a growth. So they did not get it that it's the growth. It's not how many properties you've got, it's the growth. And the growth is 100% dependent on the skills. Because in property, there's 27 variables. Each and every variable is a risk. So we need to identify the risk through a system. But that's not where the fun starts. Now we have to turn that into the art. And the art is where the skill comes into play. So what is the skill? The moment that you know there's a risk, what can you do in real life to offset the risk or to mitigate the risk? The moment that you know how to do that, you've got the skill. But I also saw something else, that people, because we think that we need money to make money, they limit themselves from achieving success financially. In other words, in terms of financial freedom. So I took on a challenge in order to prove to people that you could start with no money and investment, less than 1,000 Rand. That's the email that I've sent out in 2004. I think it was in November 2004. I've sent out this email and I said to my database, because of something that happened where people say, but you must have money and you must use the bank's money and stuff like that, which is nonsense. It's a belief system. And I said that I'm going to take less than 1,000 Rand and turn it into 10 million within 5 years. And of course, a lot of people laughed at me and said that it's impossible, just like they're saying today. But in that email, I basically said what I'm going to do, how I'm going to use the Wealth Creators method, the 4 high-value skill sets. And I also said that I'm going to start a mentoring course to take people through this process. But here's the trick, and I want you to listen very carefully to this one. I also said that I'm going to set up 2 entities, right? Because I wanted to prove everything, because otherwise it's a waste of time. And the mentoring students, none of the subscriptions that they paid would form part of this challenge. Can you see what I've done? Because I know that there's a lot of gurus out there. They become rich because they regurgitate other people's stuff, but they cannot do that themselves. Right? They become rich because they're good salespeople. I wanted to prove that you must have the skills. So I deliberately said, this is the way. I also said that I'm going to start at least 4 new businesses, also buy properties for free, because the way that it works according to the formula and the Wealth Creator strategy. And that was the reason why I structured that deal at that stage. It took me 2 years and 3 months, and we've got a clean audit that we've achieved that goal. Why did I achieve that goal? Very, very simple. Because you need to get the right information or the right competencies. Now, luckily for me, I already had that. I also stated in that email that I'm not going to use a cent of my own money. Well, at least 1,000 Rand, that's the maximum that I would invest. At the end of the day, it was 79 cents or 11 American sense, that I will not use any security, that I will not go to the bank and ask for security, and that I'll be able to achieve this. We bought 49 properties in 94 days without costing me a cent because of this basic thing. I knew what I wanted. I've done it before, so to a certain extent, I was my own mentor. I had the systems that I followed, that I'm still following, and I had the skills. And what I'm doing at the moment is to take you and my students through this process to excel. But here's the deal. You do not have to select me to be your mentor. Whatever you want to do and want to achieve, by following this golden triangle and that goal setting, you can but find a mentor that has proven that he or she has done it. Right. No need to come to me. Maybe you don't like the way that I talk, or my English is not that good, or I don't know. Maybe I'm too old to your liking, or whatever. Right. Find someone that can accelerate this process for you. Otherwise, the chances are almost zero, if I look at the averages, that you will be financially free at a relative young age. So that's the main reason also why I took on the 500,000 challenge, the 500K challenge. And in this playlist, if you follow this playlist, you're going to see on YouTube, that is exactly what I've done. But I'm not going to take 500,000 Rand of my existing capital. I've got it, but I'm not going to take it because there's nothing in that to give it to someone else. So I've said that this that I teach, this that I preach, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show a new group plus an existing group that I already had exactly how to do it. So instead of starting with 500,000 here in South Africa, we started with 100 Rand or $6.52. Exactly the same thing that I've done in 2004. It's the same process that I'm repeating. That 79 cents or 11 cents, I turned it into 1.3 million at that point in 2 years, 3 months. This time, $500,000, which is about 7.5 million over the next 2 years. At the moment, we're 5 months in it, or 22 weeks. We're already very, very close to 2 million. We're 1,900,000 and something odd rands that we've got. Once we've got to the 500,000, 3 years later, 2 million. Exactly the same process by following this golden triangle. So this is what I want you to do for yourself. Make sure that you find someone, not someone that has got the knowledge, but they haven't got the experience, they haven't got the skills, and they haven't got the applied knowledge, because unless you can do it, you don't know it. And the quickest, safest, and easiest way is to follow a mentor through a system that can transfer the skills. But the condition is this process only works for people that are serious about their future, about leaving a legacy, and about becoming financially free. So if you're one of those people, then of course I hope that you're going to get immense value from this video alone. But I've also got a webinar that I invite people to. In the description area, you're going to find a link to an invite to the 500K Challenge webinar. Follow that link and book your spot for that webinar, because it will blow your mind away. That is if you're serious. Otherwise, please make sure to like this video here on YouTube, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, click that bell icon so that you can be notified of any new videos that I'm doing basically on a week-to-week basis. So if you like this, I would love it if you can share that as well. So what are your thoughts on this? Is this something that you can apply in your life? Give me your feedback in the comment section, and then I will see you in the next video.